The rain hit Dock Terminal 7 like a punishment from the sky. Marcus Reed pulled his Carhartt jacket tighter and squinted through the downpour. He was nobody. Just a registered civilian worker, unregistered on half the Empire's databases, which suited him fine. He hauled cargo on the lower docks of New Verith City, the kind of city that glittered from above and rotted from below. 3 moons lit the skyline on clear nights. Tonight, there were none. He heard the explosion before he saw the light. A ship, sleek, royal blue, trimmed in gold, came down hard into the far dock platform. Not a crash landing. An attack. The vessel had been hit mid-approach. Emergency lights blinked weakly across its crumpled hull, and through the smoke and rain, Marcus saw a single figure crawl out from the wreckage. Small. Slight. Blue-skinned. He didn't think. He ran. Chapter 2. The Girl in the Armor. She was on her knees when he reached her, both hands pressed into the wet concrete, golden armor cracked along the left shoulder, blood trailing down her temple from beneath a small jeweled crown. Her long blonde hair was soaked flat against her back. Her pointed ears twitched at the sound of his boots. She looked up. Marcus had seen aliens before. New Verith was a crossroads planet. But he had never seen eyes like hers. Deep violet, lit from within, pupils wide with pain and something heavier. Fear. Hey, I'm not going to hurt you. He crouched down, palms out. Can you stand? She stared at him like she didn't understand the gesture. Then, slowly, she nodded. He reached out a hand. She took it, her fingers ice cold, grip surprisingly strong. He pulled her upright and she swayed. He caught her by the shoulders without thinking. She stiffened instantly, a sharp inhale. Sorry, he said. You're bleeding. We need to get you inside. Her voice, when it came, was low and precise. You must leave. They will come for me. Anyone near me becomes a target. Yeah, well, Marcus glanced at the sky. 2 interceptor ships were already sweeping beams across the dock. I'm already close enough to be a target, so let's move. Chapter 3. The Confession. He got her behind a cargo stack in Warehouse 9, a place nobody checked because nobody admitted it existed. He'd hidden here once during a labor dispute. It was dry, dim, and quiet. He pulled off his jacket without asking and draped it over her shoulders. She looked at it like it was a foreign artifact. You're shivering, he said simply. She pulled the jacket slowly around herself. On her left chest, where his name tag read C. Reed, she pressed her fingers lightly, like she was memorizing it. You do not know who I am, she said. It wasn't a question. You're someone who got shot out of the sky and needs to sit down. He tore a strip from the interior lining and pressed it gently to the cut on her temple. That's enough for now. Silence settled between them. Outside, thunder rolled. The interceptors swept overhead. Then she spoke. My name is Velith Soren. A pause that felt like a door opening. I am the recognized heir to the Soren throne, the Verith crown, and the Ember Compact. 3 empires. Another pause. And someone inside all 3 wants me dead. Marcus kept pressure on her wound. His hands didn't shake. Okay, he said. She blinked. You say okay? I have just told you that I carry the succession of 3 galactic empires and that assassins are hunting me tonight. I heard you. He sat back on his heels. Does any of that change the fact that you're bleeding in my warehouse? Her violet eyes studied him for a long moment. Something shifted in them, not quite a smile, but the shape of one, somewhere behind the exhaustion and the fear. No, she said quietly. It does not. Chapter 4. What is worth protecting? They stayed low for 3 hours. Marcus learned that Velith had been traveling in secret, trying to reach a neutral arbitration council before her enemies, A coalition of imperial ministers who had been slowly poisoning her father's court could trigger a succession war. Her escort had been betrayed. Her pilot was dead. Her communicator was encrypted but damaged. She learned that Marcus had been born on a station that no longer existed, had no family, no political loyalty, and had never, in his life, been afraid of a fight he understood. "Why do you help me?" she asked near the second hour. She was leaning against the wall, his jacket still around her shoulders, crown slightly tilted. She looked exhausted and, beneath all the royal bearing, very young. "Because you needed it," Marcus said, as if it were obvious. Most people would have run. Most people hadn't already gotten close enough to be a target. He looked at her sideways. "I told you that already." This time she did smile. Small. Real. Like something she wasn't used to doing in front of people. Chapter 5. The Signal and the Choice. Near the fourth hour, Velitha's communicator sparked back to life. Partial function, enough to send one encrypted signal to the Arbitration Council's emergency frequency. She looked at Marcus before she sent it. "If I send this, they will find me here. There will be a formal extraction. Soldiers. Documentation." She paused. "They will want to know who helped me. Your name will enter records you have kept yourself out of for years." Marcus was quiet for a moment. Then he shrugged, one corner of his mouth pulling up. "See Reed," he said. "Class. Civilian. Status. Unregistered." He nodded at the jacket still on her shoulders. "They already know my name." She looked down at the name patch. Then she sent the signal. Chapter 6. Dawn and Departure. The extraction team arrived at first light, 8 armored soldiers, 2 medics, and a diplomat in formal Soran colors who looked at Marcus like he was an unexpected variable in a very precise equation. Velith stood straight for all of it. The crown repositioned. The bearing restored. She spoke to them crisply and they moved with precision. She was, unmistakably, royalty again. But before she stepped onto the transport vessel, she turned back. She walked the 6 steps to Marcus, reached up, and placed both hands on either side of his face. It was a formal gesture. He recognized it distantly as a Soran mark of acknowledgement, given by the royal line to those who had rendered exceptional service. But her eyes when she did it were not formal. "See Reed," she said softly. "You gave a heir of 3 empires your jacket in the rain." "It was cold," he said. "It was everything," she replied. She stepped back. The transport closed. The ships rose into the clearing sky. Marcus stood on the dock alone, no jacket, watching them go. In his chest pocket, where she had quietly placed it, was a small gold sigil, the mark of the Soran heir. An open door, in every empire, for the rest of his life. He looked at it for a long time. Then he put it back in his pocket, turned up his collar against the morning wind, and walked back to work.